back for the next part of Trimet board meeting. Oh boy. Alright, so we left off and they had just given them their little awards, and I had commented that those awards should be a cash of payment. They should be presented with a cash check for $1,000 each for winning the award. I mean, it should have value to it, monetary value, and handed to them by the general manager, but that's not what they're ever going to do. But anyway, we're now here and
customer service, and I look forward to voting yes on this resolution.
Yeah, and there's he's going to say the nice words about the great operators, and the resolution will pass. And it's not enough, okay? It's really not a sufficient recognition. Okay, there's really a lot of problems out there. Now, I know some of them can't be solved. I'm aware of that, but really, there's got to be a better way to do public transportation than the way we do it in this country. This is just horrendous, okay? It's just horrendous. And I'm not just talking here. And this is one of the kinder, gentler transit districts, Trimet, okay? They're a little bit more gentle compared to places like the MBTA or the WMATA in Washington. Those places are fucking brutal.
Here, here.
And I will second what Bruce just said and also add that it truly is, our operators are truly the lifeblood of this organ.
Who was it that recommended, all right, I forgot where I saw it, and make this comment, because all we do is fantasize about how good things can be, and we have these great ideas, but you can't get them into these people, because that guy stops you. Now, what was I going to say with this? Oh, yeah. Okay, I forgot where I heard it. Somewhere on the Twitter, I think. Each one of these directors should ride a line a month end to end. That's what they need to do. Okay? You need to get out from behind there and ride. But they won't do it.
They're the front face of the customers that you see every single day. And I know when I ride Max and when I ride the bus, they're just always helpful and joyous, and it just kind of brightens my day to interact with our team out in the field.
Yeah,
so greatly appreciate it.
As somebody who listens to the dispatch calls, I can laugh over these comments.
All that you've done and your dedication to the organization. Thank you.
Yay. We second that.
Is the board ready to take a vote? Mm-hmm. All right, then. All those in favor of the motion to approve the three resolutions, please signify by saying aye.
Hooray.
Aye. Any opposed?
Hooray.
Any abstentions? The motion is approved unanimously. And again, congratulations. Thank you very much for your service.
Yay. Got your photo op, and everybody's happy.
Thank you, Mr. President. Now, if I could just continue with the second item up, I'd like to talk about the ridership for the month of May.
Oh, let's hear this.
In May, Trimet provided 8.5 million trips. That's down 1.4% compared to a year ago. System 1.
Now, when I compare him to McFarland, McFarland was much more poetic about these. You know what I mean? This guy's a technocrat. McFarland was a little bit more poetic.
Weekday boardings moved into the positive, essentially flat, but by 1/10% to the favorable, and over 1% plus to the previous year.
Yeah, it's flat.
Weekend boardings, dips like.
For all practical purposes, ridership is flat, and there's lots of reasons for that, and it's got nothing to do with housing prices. Believe housing patterns. That's bullshit.
Less than 0.5%. Fewer people took trips on bus. Ridership was down a little more than 3.5% in all the categories. Or for categories, that's weekday, weekend, peak, and off-peak hours. The frequent bus service.
That's interesting, isn't it? 3% down from last year at this time. Well, I mean, if you want to look at the situation, Portland Bus Lane Project illustrated for everybody that, you're stuck in traffic on the bus. and you're just stuck there for hours. And if you're going to be stuck for hours, you'd rather have your car, right? But I would. I mean, we're not third world country. We do have access to a car, and the car is not necessarily evil. Okay, nothing wrong with a car. It's perfectly legitimate. It's the way we Americans think of cars that's the problem.
We saw the same trend, a decline of about 3.5%, still well below all the national challenges that President Warner has referred to earlier. On the MAX side, however, ridership was up 6.7% on weekdays and 3.7%
Did you say 6.7%? Wait, ridership is up 6%? Well, that's funny, isn't it?
It is worth noting, though, that in May of 17, we did perform the Morrison Yamhill MAX Improvement Project, which clearly impacts disruptive ridership around using bus, train, or normal traveler patterns. And again, as an aging rail system, you're going to see projects just like this continue probably forevermore as we modernize the system.
Yeah, capital project.
It was a 3-week special project in this case that affected the system service-wide. Some of the fluctuations we are seeing are attributed to that work. The riders did change their habits to minimize the impact, and we want to encourage that. To avoid the disruptions and delay on MAX, some riders did turn to the bus. I think that does help explain some of the year-to-year rebound on MAX as you saw some of the drop-off in the bus ridership overall. So there's some trading off going on with the overall totality of the system. The Providence Park MAX Improvements Project took place in May of this year. That was only for a week versus last year, which was a 3-week, very large and significant disruption. So not quite apples to apples in terms of time and...
Right, we can't even compare.
A couple other factors which may have had a negative impact.
Because there's too many things going on.
So first was Nike's Bike Town was free.
Basically, the ridership is flat. It's been flat forever. It fluctuates up and down 1-2%, but it's flat, and it's flat for a number of reasons. Not one of which is they don't even have any more equipment to take any more people. Okay, they don't have the staff or the equipment to take any more people, and so it's called induced demand reverse. You get passed up a few times by buses or trains. You're not riding. I know I won't not. It doesn't take that much to learn that public transportation is just too much of a pain in the ass. So I really believe that's a major reason why bus ridership is flat. And they haven't really increased anything of significance either. They've put on these little lines that go in the middle of nowhere, like Sherwood, Tualatin, or whatever. 42. I don't know where these places are going, but those lines are not going to generate a lot of ridership additions. They haven't done any real massive, like we're going to change this frequent service from 15 minutes to 10 minutes. Okay, that's going to be our standard. If I did something like that, you might see a major difference in ridership.
In celebration of Bike Month. And so you might say, well, that's not large, but in fact it was, with nearly 80,000 trips taken during that celebration period. Wow. It was Bike Town's highest ridership month ever on record. Second, we also have had better weather. 4 days of rain this May compared to 12 last year, so our riders may have been more inclined to bike, walk, etc., which is all good for a healthy community. Max did see some impressive gains, in all categories this May over last year, is the bottom line result. Off-peak ridership was up 9.5%, and the Max Orange Line ridership was up more than 16 full percentage points. That figure reflects more than 12,000 weekday boarders.
Have they made the Orange Line predictions? Let's look that up right now while we're on the phone here. Trimet Orange. Well, let's keep going on.
Again, not only do we look at the month, we need to look at, as some of the other individuals spoke about, when you invest in rail systems like this, you have to take a very long trajectory, so you see ups and downs, but this is very much showing part of an uplift in this current photograph. In the case of West, West continues
All right,
to be a
so what
challenge
did he
for us,
say? Okay, I've got the reference here. He said what? 12,000 trips a day? Is that what he said? I don't know what he said. I I think it was 12,000. So I've got the article here. It forecasts 17,000 weekday trips, okay? And so now they've only got 11,000 or 12,000. No, they still haven't made the right. So it's a good example of him changing reality from the truth. That's masterful the way he did that. He showed it in only one direction, and that, of course, everybody doesn't know the details. I'm one of the few people that do.
It was down about 4.5%. In May, we saw about 8,000 weekly boardings. And of course, West only runs on weekdays and during the peak periods. It's a peak commuter rail type of service. So again, the ridership here, it's something we've got marketing programs underway, as we've spoken about.
Yeah, I find that strange that they lost riders. That is strange. And I personally can't think of any. It must have been some kind of, I don't know. I can't imagine people moved. I don't know. I guess there was never that many in the first place, so just a few of them that not taking it would make a big difference.
Got to keep this close on the monitoring scale as well. Unless there's any questions on the ridership, we have to answer them at this point.
Of course, they don't really care about the ridership. Let's just be honest. They don't care. I mean, they have to say that they care because, people are going to wonder why you're not increasing riders. But they basically don't care because it's a sales tax funded operation. The fares don't really, it's 200 million or something out of $1 billion. I don't know what it is, but I know that they don't really care about the ride. I know they don't care about the riders. Oh yeah, we should look at the fares that came in this month and see if it was the same. I'm not going to bother with this. I don't care.
We'll move on to the next section. Okay, thank you. What I'd like to do now, if I can, is I'd like to call up Carrie Ayers-Pelinek, our Director of Planning and Policy Development, to really share about some of our frequent service announcement for bus service.
Carrie Ayers-Pelinek. I'm going to write that down. That's a new name, isn't it? Carrie Ayers-Pelinek? Carrie Ayers-Pelinek. See? Who the hell's that?
As you know, when we go out into the community, as we have with many of the recent listing sessions, which I'll talk about a little bit later.
Yeah, I want to hear about those. Let's see the list.
The one thing we always hear is about everybody in every part of the community wants more service. In some cases, it's longer hours. Some cases, it's weekend service. Some it's more frequency. There's a combination of what that means to them, and it's all important. So this morning, we have a bit of an exciting news that Carrie, I'm going to turn over to you to share.
Thanks, Doug. And it is really nice to be up here to talk about the exciting things that we're doing. This next year, we're going to have the largest expansion of bus service in Trimet history. And among those,
can we verify that?
We're going to formally announce a new frequent service line, the line 73, 120.
I don't believe that when they say that. I just don't believe that. The largest in history, all the way back to the 60s, in terms of percentage. I don't believe it, but whatever.
22nd Avenue will become Trimet's 14th frequent.
Oh, by the way, it's 5% increase in service. I remember the figure. It's listed in their budget. It's 5%. So why is that such a big deal? It's not. See, here they are again, making up. They're taking the truth and not telling it to you. It's 5%. Why don't you just use the figure, lady? The largest in history, we're increasing service by 5%.
Frequent service line. Our threshold for frequent service is that buses run every 15 minutes or better.
It should be every 10 or better. You need to change your threshold. Because at 10, maybe you don't need a schedule. 15, you still need to know when the bus is coming. And if one drops out, that's a half hour, so that's not frequent.
Of the day, every day. More than half of the rides taken each week, looking at the numbers from May, were taken on frequent service bus line.
Okay, I didn't know what this was. This is the 71, okay, which I used to drive. But, that's a long time ago. History keeps changing here. It's now called the 73. And that was busy.
Thanks. put that in
Those people were rough, too.
another way, Trimet has more than 80 bus lines, but nearly 54% of those rides taken each week are on the frequent service network. Line 73 runs from Lentz Town Center in the south, up 122nd, over to Park Rose Transit Center.
This is another reason why we need fare-free transit, because you see, they're being neoliberal and trying to tell you, well, most of our rides are coming on this frequent service. I don't like the way they split that down. This network needs to be funded, and it needs to have reaches to places that are not frequent. Okay, that's what they used to have in Portland and Trimet, was this great bus service that went everywhere, and they dismantled it for the rail. And now they don't really have that anymore, okay? They don't have that kind of network. That's why I question when they say the greatest bus service ever increased. Anyway, that was the 71 end.
Off of Sandy. This spring, on an average weekday, Line 73 saw more than 4,000 boardings. For a weekday, that's the 5th highest efficiency line that we have.
Efficiency.
And on weekends, it's actually...
See, when you hear the word efficiency, that's neoliberalism. That's it. That's the wrong way to look at the world. You need to understand that. That's important, because we're not here to be created to be efficiency. Okay, we're here to be serviced. And this is where these agencies are not your friend, because they're trying to herd you. Okay, just not listening. They're trying to make, you know what I'm trying to say here, efficiency. What is that supposed to mean? It means, they're making money on you.
The most efficient when you look at boarding rides per vehicle hour, so Saturdays and Sundays.
Yeah, so they're trying to say, they have the $1 billion pork barrels and all of this, and then they're worried about efficiency over here. It's bullshit, man. All right? They shouldn't even be thinking like this. They should just be running the service, and it should be 10 minutes or less.
Service upgrade.
And it should be later. They don't run late enough. That's one of the big problems with Trimet, is it doesn't run enough on the weekends, and it doesn't run enough at night.
We're adding a lot more service on weekends. So that'll be really exciting.
Yeah, let's see. What is it?
We're pleased to be able to offer these rides to people who live east of I-205. We'd like to thank the City of Portland for their partnership with us.
Oh, here they go. Here goes the bureaucracies patting each other on the back. It's always fun to watch these technocracies congratulating each other on what a wonderful technocracy they are.
Years ago, Trimet and PBOT entered into a partnership to increase service on the Line 73 to frequent service levels, and PBOT would make capital improvements for safety, access, ADA accessibility, and bus operations along.
See, this should be the purpose of government. This. What the hell are they doing, man? What are they doing with all of the tax money that we pay them? Because this should be the priority, and that should have 10-minute service, and you should have the proper amenities along the line. And we're getting ripped off.
The line. PBOT has committed to delivering $8 million worth of these improvements. Roughly half of them are done, and the next are programmed within the next few years. The partnership between Trimet and the City of Portland will help get more people in East Portland to where they need to go safely and with greater ease.
Yeah, two governments.
Thank you.
Yeah, look at her. She looks like a government official, doesn't she? She's got that government official look.
I just want to comment and say I grew up in this area, so
here's
I'm
the new
very,
director.
Well aware of a lot of the communities that live out there, and
zoom in, cameraman,
folks, and we're just really happy to hear that Trimet is really working in partnership with PBOT to expand the services there, and as well as
baby,
more diverse communities and families.
What do you think, Stevie baby?
For everybody, I think it's a win-win.
You might actually watch this.
Thank you.
Yeah, look at her.
So speaking of service,
a win-win.
What I'd like to do next is actually share some sample examples of support we've received for more of our bus lines and more service overall. In March of this year, we launched Line 42, Denny Hall line.
Yeah, how's that going? Let's hear about it.
Line 74 and 162nd Avenue. Again, part of this expansion program that we're undertaking. Both of these lines are seeing hundreds of daily boardings, and they're really making a positive impact in the areas of those communities we serve.
Hundreds of daily boardings? Okay, let's see. They're running one bus. It's not like it's frequent service or something. I think they run one bus on those lines, or maybe two. And they don't even run during the whole day. They only run in the rush hour, I think.
So I just want to run a short video, if I can, if you just pull it up.
The bus stop before?
Just let you hear some of the comments.
Yeah, it helped out a lot. It saved me time and gets me to places quicker.
Come on, let's see it.
I live in Vancouver. I have a very, very long commute.
All right.
And at the end of the commute, I used to have to walk 9 blocks to where I work.
Okay, there's a
And then
winner.
74 popped up and drops me off half a block from where I work.
That 74 helps me get to work over here. Otherwise, I would have to walk 30 minutes, which I'm pregnant and I don't want to do.
I used to get to the max stop, go to downtown, go hiking.
See, this is what I'm saying. This is the function of government, okay? Actually doing things that people can use, all right? I don't know what they do. They don't do that, man, okay? They're supposed to be providing services. And at least they're doing that. I don't know what, I haven't... This is obviously propaganda. You can't really trust Trimet propaganda at all. But I imagine these are real people, and and the bus is helpful. Of course it is.
Like Powview, that's right there. It's like perfect chance where the bus stop is.
It cuts my travel time here at this end of it probably by an hour. I have
That's
no
pretty
complaints.
good, man.
It's great. It's great.
Yeah, see that propaganda?
Thank you.
The Trimet comes up.
This past month, as part of our new service, we thought we tried something new. We actually held our very first travel training sessions for both of these lines. We thought we'd pilot this. Where we invited members of the community to get a free hop card, take a ride.
Yeah,
on an in-service
went to that.
bus,
I tried to
ask
get-
questions, Q&A, and really.
I tried to get Eli. He didn't do it. I wanted Eli to go. I would have gone if I miss all the fun, man. I really do. It's so sad.
Help remove the barriers around how people can use the bus, the line, and the system. And I think overall the feedback has been nothing but overwhelming in terms of it really help people get comfortable. We can often forget that for some people it can be intimidating trying the system for the first time, whether it be taking a bus.
Really?
It's simple to us who works in this business every day, to going to a ticket vending machine. These are barriers to entry to want to use our system. So we thought we'd try this. It seems to be working very well, and we're hoping to continue it going forward. Overall, we had over 100 people actually try this and gave some really positive feedback. So hopefully this gives you just another example of how we're trying to build on how we reach out, how we listen, how we connect in different ways going forward. So just wanted to share that with you. And there'll be more things coming in the future. Next item up, wanted to...
That's very nice. And yeah, okay, good. But they never really told us how they decided to do these particular lines that they ended up doing. I don't remember them asking anybody, which lines, what should we do with this extra money we have here? They did that without asking anybody.
Share with you is the deliverables I committed to you that some of you have in front of you. I should all have in front of you is my package for my first 100 days as the general manager.
First 100 days. He's like Donald Trump.
And as part of my contract with...
Remember Donald Trump? He's going to do all these things in his first 100 days. He didn't do anything. And he still hasn't done anything. And the only thing he's done is give away some money to the rich and pick on the refugees. And entertain us daily, non-stop, with his insane, with his fucking reality show shit. Okay, this is really an interesting period in American history. I hope you appreciate it as much as I do. This was the history where the right-wing reality show took over our existence. It's fucking crazy too, isn't it? And don't think that Trump does these things by himself. He's guided by the invisible hand. Believe me.
I committed to you and this organization to improve and build on communications in coordination with our communities and employees. I vowed that I would complete the package.
I don't know what to think of him. Do you? I don't really know what to think about him. I don't know. What about Kelsey?
Deliverables my first 100 days.
Has it been 100 days already?
Passed, and what I would like to do is take a few moments and update you on our progress as an organization individually. Firstly, under the heading of Town Halls and Budget, we've completed our community listening sessions, the budget workshops, and the employee town halls. We held 7 general manager listening sessions, and with many of you, almost all of you, participated in all those. There was one in each board member's district. Most were well attended. We had one with low turnout, but the rest of them were actually had a very healthy turnout, and I would consider very healthy dialogue. In fact, the listening sessions would typically go for about an hour and a quarter, as you probably were there, but I would typically hang around for about an hour plus after to smaller groups. Some people are not as comfortable in the larger group setting, so these things went on typically for most well over 2 hours in total.
It would have been nice if somebody had actually documented these meetings on video. It would have been a nice thing to do to see it, you know. I mean, why aren't they archiving this shit? Okay, they don't want you to see it, is what it is.
Engage with the community. Boy, did I learn a lot, and hopefully you'll see some of this embedded in some of the things and approaches we use going forward.
What have you learned, Kelsey?
We also committed to 4 budget workshops, but held 5. This is due to response of demand, and I think that so we made an adjustment there. We saw tremendous community engagement and also gained, as I said, a lot of valuable feedback from our customers and potential customers. And in some cases, we saw people who typically wouldn't be on the system who came forward, I think in some of the town halls and the general manager sessions. So it actually brought out new people, which I actually thought was actually terrific, not some of the same people who have a great passion for the system, and that's welcome too. But I also want to thank ERCO, our partner here. I also want to thank Bernie Bottomley and his team for working with ERCO so closely and say, hey, how would you design this? How would you...
Here we go. They're going to pat each other on the back again.
You set these up and run the budget session. I just really want to thank them because they did a great job for us, and it was a great partner, and it was a new approach, and I think something will continue.
I never did see the Opal breakdown of the budget. I'm going to tweet them right now. I mean, they were going to hold a workshop, but I never saw anything published about it, you know. I'm going to tweet them about that because I never saw their work on the Trimet budget. Where is it?
Going forward, we had over 250 community members participated. A large turnout, low-income, minority, transit-dependent riders. You have the reports in front of you. But in no particular order of importance or top priorities, I think key themes: expand service coverage, more frequency of the system, more amenities. I think that's one area that actually came out even brighter than some of the other comments. And some people even comment saying they'd rather have more amenities even at the expense of some service first. So learning for me on that one. And so hopefully we'll embed many of these things in House Bill 2017's plans and our own expansion on top of House Bill 17 as we chart our way forward. It also included physical improvements at our transit centers, additional security staff. It wasn't necessarily policing, but there was a spectrum of viewpoints, to not have policing through to, yes, I want policing, but it was really around security and presence on the system, I think overall is the theme, as the board has actually heard before. The third component of the category is to establish an annual budget process. So the public participation for the overall budget, not just the House Bill 2017 public consultation portion, which we did this round, it will occur in the fall, and I've asked this occur on an annual basis going forward. So to be outreach, not just posting on our website, but actually posting on the website, but actually conducting public forums again is just a way of doing business. Now to the changes I pledged under the head...
Conducting all these public forums isn't much use if the public can't see the public forums. All right? We have the internet here. Look at what I'm doing. See what I'm doing? I'm some schmo in a house. And I can film everything I want to film. Now, why aren't you guys showing us this stuff? So I'm always suspicious of them. Because they always say all these great, nice things that they're doing, but we really don't know what they're doing, do we? I mean, they could show us this stuff and we could see it.
Heading of the TEC, the Transit Equity Advisory Committee.
Here's that again.
We've expanded the committee, as John Gardner referred to earlier, by 9 organizations, and that new structure has already been in effect as of mid-May. We developed a work plan for TIAC. The plan, the draft plan was
what are they supposed to do?
At the June 21st meeting. On the outreach side, in terms of hiring an individual, we're actually hiring 3, not 1. So that process is actually unfolding very nicely now, and some of that work's already...
You're hiring 3 what?
I think there's more needed, and part of my own outreach was the listing that Trimet needs to be more engaged and invested in the communities in different ways, not just when Trimet needs something, but to be invested in the community even on broader topics and just one at a time.
What did he just say?
So I think that's progressed appropriately.
I can't
turning to the workforce.
Go back.
Scheduled two work sessions with consultants charged with forming a management diversity workforce review.
Jesus Christ!
Specifically,
now they have here's a couple $100,000 contracts to consultants for another management review. Jesus Christ!
Consultants we brought in from the local region, Margaret Carter, and also from a well-regarded individual nationally in the transit industry. National perspective.
Beverly Scott.
Not just a local perspective. So we've retained Dr. Bev Scott.
Yeah.
My counterpart at
Bev Scott.
Okay. And in Boston. So they were both.
By the way, she left.
Part of a special board meeting September the 12th.
See, it's interesting. I happen to know about MBTA because I just happened to be in the Boston area by some strange coincidence. Bev Scott, she resigned in disgrace from the MBTA. It was a huge. That was the winter when everything fell apart. Okay, that was the end. She presided over the death of the MBTA. Okay, that's what she did. Yeah. Okay, here's the Boston Herald right here. I'm going to read it to you just so you know who she is. MBTA Beverly Scott spared no expense on trips, record review shows. She was one of those, man. You know, she was living the high life. Yeah, conferences and meetings around the world, even though the troubled transit system was collapsing around her. Oh boy, she spent 106 days traveling out of the state, taking 30 trips. Oh my God. Racked up $57,000 in lodging expenses, airline and dining tabs. Yeah, okay, there you go. That's who she is. So here, okay, he's talking about a world-renowned. We know the truth, and we know that he got fired. He's fired himself. He was fired. Okay, but the thing is that this whole public transportation network in North America and in the United States and Canada is run by this technocracy, and they are the ones that run the whole thing. The boards of directors are just puppets, and that's how this can keep happening, this kind of shit. Okay, we'll cut it there.